cash grant na 10,000 pesos up to 20,000 pesos simula 80 years old, nais ibigay. Aprobado sa second reading sa Senado. Good news po ito at ang Senate Bill number 2028 ang pagpapalawak ng coverage ng Republic Act number 10868 o ang Centenarians Act of 2016 kapag naipasa ito at naging ganap na batas, 80 years old pa lang ay makakatanggap na ng cash grant o cash gift galing sa gobyerno. Panoorin ang video clip tungkol sa naging usapan sa Senado. Panoorin at tapusin ang buong video para sa dagdag kaalaman. Bago tayo magpatuloy, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe sa aking channel. Thank you sa pag-click ng aking video. Good day po sa lahat ng mga nanonood. Sa mga bagong viewers at napadaan lang, by the way, I'm Tita Eda. Welcome to my channel. Ang channel na maghahatid sa iyo ng dagdag kaalaman tungkol sa government services, bagong mga balita at informative videos na galing sa legit na resources. Mag-subscribe na para updated ka.
The amendments are as follows. For the individual amendments on page 1, lines 3 to 6, to delete the entire paragraph, starting with the words all Filipinos up to the words honored with, and replace it with the following. All Filipinos, whether residing in the Philippines or abroad, upon reaching the ages of 80 and 90, shall receive a cash gift of 10,000 pesos and 20,000 pesos, respectively. Upon reaching the age of 100 years old, a cash gift of 100,000 pesos and a letter of felicitation from the President of the Philippines congratulating the celebrant for his or her longevity shall also be given. Here there is a change in the matter of style, and the least clumsy version reads as follows. Provided further that they shall be eligible to receive the cash gift within 1 year from reaching the ages of 80, 90, and 100. I so move.
There being no objection to the motion, the amendment is approved.
On page 1, lines 9 to 12, up to page 2, lines 1 to 2, remove the whole subsection A.
There being no objection to the amendment, the amendment is approved.
On page 2, line 7, to remove the words and to be. I so move.
There being no objection, the amendment is approved.
On page 2, lines 9 to 14, to remove the whole subsection 2A. I so move.
There being no objection, the amendment is approved.
On the same page 2, line 15, section 2B will now become section 2A. I so move.
There being no objection, the amendment is approved.
On the same page 2, line 24, after the word the.
Mr. President, under amendment, if I may, Mr. President.
With the permission of the sponsor?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleague. On page 2, lines 19 to 24, delete the phrase starting with the word established on line 19 until the abbreviation NCSC and the period on line 24, and replace it with the following. Maintained by the National Commission of Senior Citizens, NCSC, in accordance with Republic Act number 11350 and its implementing rules and regulations, the NCSC shall coordinate with the Philippine Statistics Authority, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD, the Department of Interior and Local Government, DILG, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, DICT, and local government units in the online registration of the beneficiaries of this act. That is the proposed amendment, Mr. President.
What does the
Accepted.
sponsor say?
Accepted, Mr.
Thank you very much.
President.
Accepted. There being no other objections, the amendment's accepted.
To clarify on the same page, therefore, as stated by the majority leader, line 24, after the word "the," to spell out NCSC into National Commission of Senior Citizens, and then close the acronym NCSC instead in parentheses. I so move.
There be no objection. Amendments approved.
On page 3, lines 2 to 4, to delete the entire paragraph entitled Appropriations and replace it with the following. Appropriations. The amount necessary to implement the provisions of this act shall be included in the budget of the NCSC under the Annual General Appropriations Act. I so move.
There be no objection to the yes.
Then, sorry for my confusion. I withdraw the last amendment, having heard now that the majority leader, in fact, withdrew that entire line.
Yes, there be no objection. We take note of the manifestation.
What will revise the title?
Please proceed, ma'am.
Yes, as stated on page 3, lines 2 to 4, to delete the entire paragraph entitled Appropriations, to replace with the following. The amount necessary to implement the provisions of this act shall be included in the budget of the NCSC under the Annual General Appropriations Act. I so move.
There be no objection to the amendment. Amendments approved.
Last, I would like to submit an individual amendment to change the title and delete the title as existing and replace it with an act recognizing the octogenarians, nonagenarians, and centenarians. I so move.
There being no objection to the amendment, amendments approved.
Those are all the individual amendments, Senate President, please, and Majority Leader.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, before we close the period of amendments, just a clarification for the record, since this will be made part of the intent of Congress. Is it my understanding that if an 80-year-old, 90-year-old, or 100-year-old qualified to receive certain amounts under this proposed bill passes away a day to a week after, it is the fact of reaching that age that entitles them to the cash benefits, and as such, if he or she passes away within the 1-year period that this money should be given, then the heirs would be entitled to it. Is that the understanding, Mr. President, Your Honor?
Our understanding, and as stated, the eligibility will only remain within 1 year from the birthday, the 80th, 90th, or 100th birthday. The reason being that this is a recognition award, similar to loyalty awards in corporations that are not given every year. Instead, of course, we have a social pension for indigent senior citizens who are provided 1,000 a month to buy medicines and other necessities.
Mr. President, Your Honor, my question is, since we are giving this acknowledgement for a milestone reached, 80, 90, and 100, my question is, should the celebrant, the 80-year-old person, 90-year-old person die 1 day after he or she celebrated his or her birthday, or a week after, would the heirs be entitled to receive it?
Yes?
In other words, he's asking if there's transferability, survivorship.
As a general rule, we have given it with regard to the Centenarians Act, even years after the passage, provided the documents are provided by the surviving heirs.
So the answer would be they are entitled upon reaching that age, and government is duty bound to give it within a year.
Although the discussion yesterday with the minority leader was that we would endow it within that year and previous to the 81st, 91st, and 101st birthday only. What is the pleasure of the body?
That is correct, Mr. President. I have no argument with our minority leader nor with the sponsor. Just to clarify and place in the records, as I said, that it is the reaching of this milestone that entitles the intended beneficiary with this benefit, and therefore, should that person die 2 days after celebrating their 80th, 90th, or 100th, then the heirs will be entitled to this benefit being given by this proposed bill. That's the clarification I'm seeking, Mr. President.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Second.
Huwag lang sana sila.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Ano po ninyo?
Mr. President, the minority leader seeking the floor. Move that
After 1
we
minute. Yes, please proceed.
Yes, Mr. President, that's correct. We agree. We agree with the manifestation of Senator Chis Escudero and as also affirmed by our sponsor. But there's also another scenario that we want it to be captured by the
That's
amendment.
correct.
Those who just celebrated their 80th, or those who are already just celebrated the 80th and 90th birthday before the effectivity of the law are also going to be covered by the benefits of the law. So 80 years old pa rin naman sila. Okay? They may be 80 years old and 6 months, but still covered by the law.
Within 1 year, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I believe within that
that's
entire
the main
year.
idea. Hindi pa sila nag-81, hindi pa sila nag-91, and then the law becomes effective,
They're covered.
they're covered.
Of course.
But they are not celebrating their 80th or 90th birthday after the effectivity of the law, ha? Basta yun. Basta
That's correct.
That was what I requested from this sponsor
Yes.
to capture that. Okay?
And I think that's also the sense of our economic managers, so that we don't keep expanding and retroacting these benefits.
Yes. Apo, so that's, I think, in the two senses raised, Mr. President, the amendment captures it. So
For clarity, they give it also to those Madam sponsor or who pass away within that 80 years old. They give it to the heirs.
They give it to the heirs within the year. Within the year following the birthday.
Okay. So I understand. It's supposed to be, di ba you said it was a loyalty award. So dapat sila ang makinabang dun sa 10,000 and 20,000 sana.
Birthday na eh.
Oh.
Nag-birthday na, na-reach nila eh.
They actually deserve recognition, having already reached the milestone of 80, 90, and 100, even if they pass away within the year, and the DSWD or the government or the National Senior Citizen has been unable to reach them. That is actually how the centenarian's gift, cash gift, has been operating already.
Mr. President, and with that, and with no other individual amendments, I move to close the period of individual amendments. So move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, motion's approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the consent of the body, I move that we approve on second reading House Bill number 2028. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection to the motion, House Bill number 2028. Did I say it right?
Yes,
2028
Mr. President.
is approved on second reading. Congratulations to the sponsor and authors
Thank you, Mr.
and to
President.
all the elderly of the Philippines.
Thank you.
If sa tingin mo, natulungan ka ng video ko na ito, nakasave ka sa oras mo, you can click yung thanks button at any amount ay malaking help sa pag-grow ng channel ko. Yun lang po muna ang aking update. Sana ay nakatulong na dagdag kaalaman ang aking shinare today. Ang goal ng aking channel ay mag-create ng awareness. Kung ganitong mga topic ang gusto mo, panoorin mo ang mga videos ko na ito. Thanks for watching! Kung may kapamilya, kaibigan o kakilala sa tingin mo ay magiging interesado sa video, please share or tag sila sa comment section. At syempre, if nagustuhan mo ang video, i-like mo na ito at subscribe ka na din. As always, feel free to write your questions, comments, and opinions respectfully. And continue to be a blessing and stay safe!